So sorry, enjoying an apple. I'll mute while I do that. Time to play some Warframe, Harry. Alrighty. So today we'll be playing the much-awaited Heart of Deimos, or Heart of Deimos update. Much awaits us in this update. We'll just read through this briefly for anyone who's uncertain what this stuff is. I'm pretty new to this stuff too. I've done a little bit of background research about the lore. One of my favorite things to do in these sorts of updates is to jump into the new etymology, or I guess the etymology of the new words that we get for lore exploration to start to uncover a little bit more about the world. So without further ado, we'll wait for a bit and then read this. Alright, so before we get into the updated lore, let's just fill ourselves in on what the update is. Much awaits you in Update 29, Heart of Deimos. Unveil the secrets of Deimos, Mars' second moon. Interesting. Discover what has been shrouded in mystery, hidden from the origin system, and why this infested moon has revealed itself only now. If I know anything about moons, it's that they get hidden in the void more often than I'd like. Lotus hidden in the moon. There's some imagery in this Heart of Deimos trailer. It seems to suggest something like what happened to Ballas has gone on inside of Deimos, and in fact is the heart of Deimos. However, it's a pretty decidedly female organ form. What's interesting, though, is that it does have the elongated left arm, like Ballas does, but this one definitely has a different hairstyle, different voice, different facial features. It's a woman, and it looks like it could be Margulis, or perhaps either a grown form of Margulis or a preserved form of Margulis. I'm not sure exactly what Death by the Jade Light entails, but we can't be certain that Death by the Jade Light isn't some sort of marooning in the void, in which case Void might have access to those sorts of memories and materials and might be able to create composites with them or recombine them. Anyhow, my theory is that this Heart of Deimos, this mother who leads the Entrati family, I believe, is in some way usurping or insinuating Margulis' physical form in the heart. That's all speculation, though. To know beginning their journey in Warframe will now awake to a new cinematic introduction and revised tutorial with new player experience, Tutorial 3.0. If you're already awoken, you too can enjoy the refresh by visiting the Codex and Orbiter, so we might do a little bit of that as well, depending on how much farming we have to do to get access to Deimos. Zaku. The community-designed Warframe is here. Meet an amalgam of 3 fallen warriors from an age past whose pieces were assembled on the void and reborn as one, Zaku. They call out to you. So, I've done a little bit of beginning sort of exploratory etymological research into this word, Zaku. I find that a lot of the times in Warframe, the words can be traced etymologically in Eastern languages like Sanskrit, Shakta, language Hindi, that sort of thing, rather than like Latin or Greek, like a lot of other games take their etymology from. So Zaku has been a particularly difficult one to research etymologically. There really aren't any like Eastern terms in Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Shaktism, or just in Sanskrit. And a lot of Warframe words are just like straight up lifted from Sanskrit. Sayandana is a great example of that. I think it means something like to flow like water. But Zaku's a tough one, because there really aren't X's in Sanskrit. So we have to sort of interpret, if we assume that Zaku has a Sanskrit meaning, which there's probably partially a Sanskrit meaning to it. Aku is a pretty common suffix and prefix. It's also just like a basic verb in Sanskrit. But this X, our job is to basically figure out what character this X wants to be. Does it want to be a hard, like a kaku? Because there's lots of kaku, and there's a like kaku with a K and kaku with a C. I think kaku with a C might actually be pronounced jaku. Or if this is supposed to be a s, like a zaku, right? And if that's the case, there really isn't a lot of Sanskrit to go on for a saku, because the s sound, usually an S, could be like a TS if we're going further east. But anyway, when we find out more about saku, we'll look a little bit more into the etymology of this word, because there's one reading of this word that could actually tell us a little bit about kuvate in Sanskrit. Or, in other words, kuvate is the conjugated form of the word aku. Aku can mean in Sanskrit intention, like to intend. And akuvate, or kuvate, can be the conjugation of intended. That one's interesting because of how it conjugates to also include the word kuva, which we know is important and mysterious in the Warframe world. So, more on Saku when we get closer to the actual Heart of Deimos content. Helmuth. I've done a little bit of research into the etymology of Helmuth. Helmuth is interesting. I think it's a particularly more Western influence here. I think the hell is strong, and the minth might refer to some sort of mint or smithy. So like literally like a hell smithy, you know. But there isn't a whole lot specifically in Eastern etymology to explore with the term Helmuth, so we're not going to dive into that today, although there is a lot of interesting stuff to be talked about with the etymology of Helmuth in some Western languages, like Greek and Latin. But we're just going to be putting this on the back burner because probably I won't be all ready and suited up on the Helmuth system in this stream. All right, Helmuth system has arrived. Warframe's deepest customization yet. Feed the Helmuth to replace your Warframe's abilities. To begin the feast, you must earn the Helmuth segment from a new syndicate within the Heart of Deimos. Little postscript here. Catch up on Warframe's past updates at any time. Open the pause menu on your Warframe and click the Update History button in the bottom right. If you've been away for a while, we recommend taking a look. The Entrati await your presence. Don't keep them waiting to know. So from here, all we know is that something has become unveiled. It's Mars's second moon. What? Second moon? It's been shrouded in mystery, hidden, implies intentionality here from the origin system, and it's infested. We have to figure out why it's revealed itself only now, and the Entrati syndicate seems to be a syndicate specific to this tile set and planet. I love my Nezha. I love my Nezha so much. That's so beautiful. Let's see if I've got anything done building. Nice, got my axe stiletto. Oh, my plasmor. I am ready to get that thing up. We've got some good stuff to level today. Let's get another cipher building. More field drawn building. And let's see how many of these things I can claim. Put them ahead to my inventory and over to my weapons. What can I sell? What can I sell? I have a boar. I have a boar ribbon, but I'm not super interested in the boar. I think I'm just going to sell the boar. I can always rebuild that one pretty cheap later. And I should look for others. Okay, that gives me 4 slots. That should be enough. I'm not sure if I want the Velt, but it's an 8, so there might be something I'm missing there. Tonbo's decent, but really the Guandau's my boy. Not sold on the Exorcist yet. Alright. 4 slots is plenty, though.
Operator, my foundry system has completed a build.
Grab the Galatine, level that, and then immediately make it into a Paracesis. And the Archoplasmor and the Axe Stiletto.
Operator, I've run diagnostic regressions. All systems nominal.
Thank you, Ortis. Thank you, Ortis. Thank you. I know I don't need to thank you, but I will. Alright, let's head to our stifling setting. And just go ahead and smother the audio of our misguided robot friend. And when I'm going into unclear waters, I like to bring Nezha, because adaptation, or not adaptation, but his warding halo is sweet. Just a quick reference of my build.
Excellent.
I'm not a pro by any means, but I know a little bit. So in this build of Nezha, basically I'm prioritizing efficiency. Like, so this is like a quality of life Nezha build. Got coaction drift boosting my corrosive projection mainly because it's one of the few drifts I have that'll fit. Real strong strength. Good duration, good efficiency, terrible range. So basically I'm nuking my Divine Spear's range so that I can do durable, decent damage with my Fireworker abilities, my Chakram. That's my Nezha. Okay, let's get leveling. Take a Plasmor. And the Ox Stiletto. I think I want to keep at least one good and leveled weapon with me while I'm leveling these other two. Let's upgrade this puppy. Do I have a catalyst? No. That's fine. Let's do, or actually, instead of Hell's Chamber, we're going to start off with Vicious Spread, which I really appreciate on the Plasmor. Vicious Spread is pretty hit or miss depending on the shotgun, but the Plasmor wears it well. And I think we'll add some heat there and get the bonus damage from Blaze. Should be a good enough way to start leveling. And for the Ox Stiletto, we have 10 available, and I think our Hornet Strike's at 10, so we'll just pop a Hornet Strike on there. Right now my Guandau's built for Condition Overload and Crit. A little bit of Cold and Corrosive on there. And I'm running a carrier, so I don't have to worry about shotgun ammo. With a pretty decent sweeper, actually. And just your fine mid-tier companion. In terms of my Arcwing stuff, I'm basically just using the regular stuff. I do have a Grattler. This was one of the PS4 packs. It was like $5 for much plat. Got that a while back. Grattler's really the only different weapon I'm using other than the starting stuff from Archwing stuff. Not sure how much Archwing there's going to be. And we'd be a fool if we didn't color coordinate. Yeah, that's fine. Instead of the harsh red, though, I like to go for the nice magenta. And instead of the magenta here, I like to go for the nice light purple. Okay, suited up and ready to level. So I will admit, I played Warframe for a while in the past, but Empyrean was the only major update that I have sort of been present for. So I'm not sure exactly what I need to do. Oh look, there's Deimos. Oh, okay. I have to beat Kadesh first, guys. I'm sorry. I sort of zipped through the star map, and there's still one or two things on every planet that I haven't done. So, defense, affinity from kills, and pistol kills. So what we want to do here is grab our Speed Nova. Just going to make sure she's set up for speed. Right now she's set up for slow. Okay, so we want speed. And calm is fine. Want to level our Deimos. And we'll take a Galantine to this fight, why not? Therefore that way we can do some leveling. I don't like the bright color on the sword blade though.
An unexpected color combination.
It's supposed to be a Jade Light Nova.
My sensors are bleeding.
I like her weapons to be green.
Pleased.
Holster style. Gotta go for that Wild Z offset. Alter the pitch bit here. And the roll. That should do just fine. Let's upgrade this puppy. Ooh, no stances. That's no good. This guy's gonna be bad. Alright, well, we're just gonna pop a quickening on this bad boy. Okay, we've got our Speed Nova. Let's knock out this defense, but get some good affinity at the same time. And then we'll be all ready for Deimos. But first to Kadesh. It's unlikely that the lore is so detailed that Kadesh being the node that you need to have unlocked to get there would be important, but my favorite part of lore exploring is to chase little twigs like that, and so I'm going to do some etymology on Kadesh in the meantime, and I'm going to stop babbling on so I don't disturb my party members here.
My Warframe is strong.
Your tandem powers are useless.
That's the last of them.
Always willing to
Objective
stay if
is
others want it,
secure. Let's
but I'm
move
sure
on.
everybody wants to get on into the heart of Deimos. Gosh darn Deimos. Ooh, new overlay, looking sharp, looking sharp. Hey, look, it's me and my friends. It's great. Oh man, I got 7 headshots. Fuck yeah. It's the most headshots I've ever gotten in a single day. New record. Ah, B exit,
Check
thank
your
you.
inbox, operator. Maybe Otis will get a message someday.
And here we are. We're called by Lloyd. Maybe a loyal droid. Lloyd. Interesting spelling. Loyal servants of the great and glorious Orcan Empire, you are hereby commanded to honor your oath and render assistance without delay. Ah, so they're referring to us as our Warframe sort of precepts, or by our Warframe precepts. You are hereby commanded to honor your oath and render assistance without delay. We wait your arrival upon this, the most cursed moon of Deimos. Your star chart shows the way. I'm Lloyd Cephalon, servant to House Intrati. Please bring guns. Ah, so he has a bit of a humor, that man. These items have been delivered to your inventory, and this is the heart of Deimos. Deimos emerges in Martian orbit, completely overrun by the infestation, yet among the writhing mass, a distress call comes over our most ancient carrier wave. Wonderful. That should be a quest that we can do. Don't bring a speed nova to anything where you don't know what to expect, is my general rule. So we're going to change the speed nova to Nesboy, like we originally intended. Let's go see if there's anything to do in the Helmuth room. Doesn't even look like we can open it. That's fine. Gotta pet my dogs. They don't get pissed at me. She. Good girl. Heart of Deimos, right here after the new war.
Operator, the system needs you. Will you begin another mission?
I will begin another mission, yes. Great track, great track. I think this is the titular Heart of Deimos. Implied to be some sort of functional neural center, or perhaps cardiovascular center of the infestation. Whatever sort of hive mind operates on this Martian moon. Let's jump into it, huh? Let's head over to the Cambion Drift. I'm heading to the Cambion Drift. That's my roommate. All right. Interesting, this one's already completed. Curious about the Cambion Drift. Does that just mean... is that maybe a hub world? Let's take a look at the names of these nodes real quick to sort of keep our whistles wetted with lore ponderings. Ah, here's the Cambion Drift. I see. Connects from Phlegius Formido, Diris, Magnasidium, Hif. That's how you pronounce it, infested. Terrorism, I guess, Terram, or Memoret, if you read it backwards. And Exequius. So there seems to be definitely like a lot of Latin on these nodes, lots of Latin. And we're getting the Intrati, which is very like Italian, very Latin sort of etymology. Intrati probably just means to entreat or invite, I would say. Let's see what Intrati means in Italian. Alright, Intrati in Italian from Duolingo. Now we're going to use reverso.com instead. It sounds much more legitimate. Entrati means entered. Entered. Past tense, entered. Entrati is the literal translation. That's just from Italian. So, we're seeing a lot of Latin, a lot of Italian. So, when we do jump into the etymology of some of these terms, we're going to be sort of on the lookout for anything that might look a little bit similar to any of these nodes. All right, without further ado. Now, this is the first one that we have to complete, but I am curious to see Horrend. I want to see if the tile sets sort of develop. So we'll check this one out first.
You are here to find our target and bring them to the extraction point. Happy hunting. Target located. Bring them in. We cannot let our target know we're here. Track them down quickly. Mission complete. The captive has been escorted to the extraction point. Well done.
Slick new mission complete as well. Now they're only showing rank on the things that we actually get rank in, which is cool. Oh my god, 4 headshots this time? I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. It was really cool to see all of our sprites this way. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Okay. So, this stuff seems low level enough that, number one, I can probably get away with bringing the Galantine along with me. Need to figure out what a good way to farm that stance is, though. Okay, Galantine with me. And yeah, we're going to do this solo mode, number one, so that I can explore this tile set a little bit. Because for all intents and purposes, it seems to be just an overlay of the Derelict. Which has obvious implications in terms of, like, asset maximization. From like a very meta standpoint of DE as a game design firm. It could be that this is just sort of a story or a new region built in to one of the existing tile set assets, the Derelict. And I need to double check if the Derelict is even still visible on the normal star map.
Extermination is the only option.
I think there could be subtle differences. So we're just going to take our time here and see if there are subtle differences. Oh, hey, the Grenier are here, too. Sorry, guys. This does seem to be a different depiction of the this version of the tile set, I believe. It looks a little bit brighter, a little bit less shaded in green. A little bit more brown and bronze and gold shading.
I'm still detecting
the green that the Derelict typically has.
Let's clean it up.
So there could be lore implications for this as well. And in fact, let's get the music down a little bit too. Music volume is already kinda low. Oops. Anyway, what I was saying is there could be lore implications to the fact that theoretically the Derelict has disappeared and this is an overlay of the Derelict. So I know the tile set looks identical to the Derelict. Ooh, this is my favorite. Little Neza trick. Oh, god damn it. Now it's going to take even longer. Get out of here. Little Neza trick. It's just like a free armor bath with Neza 0. $13,000. If you time it right, you can get like 30,000 armor from those things. That's why I love running Neza in the Derelict. Alrighty. Yeah, very much could be that some sort of intentionality is present on the side of the Entrati, so entered, right? And it could be that this is some sort of trap. It could be that this is a trap and this is not a benign emergence from the void after being trapped in the void. That this is intentional. It could even be an illusion. It could be an illusion of a different theoretical, like, time-space, because we know that the void doesn't really follow normal rules for time-space. This could be a theoretical alternative time-space for the Derelict that's being sort of holstered onto, or hoisted up onto, the normal depiction of the Derelict. Or this could be a completely separate thing, a second Derelict. You know, there could be multiple Derelict towers present in the void. We don't really know. Hopefully we'll learn a bit more as we go on. I like to check these rooms. especially with new content. I like to check the secrets, and I'm also curious if corrupted mods spawn on these tile sets, because that would be a really great way to sort of provide a dually new player and sort of mid-range player experience at the same time. I could just bring Titania, carry some dragon keys with me. Nothing there. So something definitely seems different about this tile set. This could be bias, just because it's new content. It could be a lighting update that's affected all tile sets. It just happens to come around in this update too. Or it could be intentional. So I'm going to be looking out for definite evidence that this is a different or the same tile set as the normal derelict tile set. So far, the rooms seem to be pretty much the same, but it's mainly the shading and small things about how the rooms are laid out that seem different to me, but it could just be bias.
We've got signals singing the same song as our victim.
Oh, do we?
Careful now. Cephalites.
I need to get the fire rate and the projectile velocity up on this archoplasmor, methinks.
You gotta find out what's protecting them, and then take your shot.
Oops. But I guess I should complete the objective of the mission. Would be a good idea, right? Theoretically. Seems like it could be new. I don't remember ever having gone through growth like that in the derelict tile set before. Gotta love that vicious spread augment, right? Get that big purple space bar and punch through. Sure. Whoops. It explodes. It exploded. Need to give it some punch through, though. So it doesn't catch corners like that. That's the one downside of the vicious spread. Gotta find some punch through, like a ribbon or something like that. Alright, let's explore a bit of the upper chambers. See if anything's changed up here. Oh! Okay, something has changed up here. I believe in the derelict, these appear differently. I have to think that they're not opaque. I don't think that these are empty in the derelict. I might be wrong, though. Could just be remembering the actual Orokin Tower tile set. Nice. We still have race rooms. Step on this panel. Open this. We're going to get a refill on armor because this one's continuous. You can get the good stuff here. $22,000 that time. Not bad. And let's get ready for a race. Race room. Another good reason to bring Neza. Special mods? No? No new openings? Okay. Special mods. Come on. Galantine. Don't do me like that. No special mods. That's fine.
Get Clem.
Yeah. Get Clem. Looks like my sweeper took care of you.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run.
I have
Another
broken their ranks.
successful mission.
And they're
Find
on the run.
extraction.
Don't fall in pits, kids, because then your abilities wear off. Party in this room, right? What's going on in here? What the hell is that? Oh, is that a friend? Is that a Kavat? Special little Kavat? Guys, we need you to back off. Okay. I can't remember if the derelict usually has platforms angling out like
That
that
was a
in
close
these
one.
rooms. This room is definitely not new. Sentry's been grown over there. Not a single Iatan stack. Alright. Let's get to extraction. What I'm really looking for is a cephalon fragment, because I think a cephalon fragment will tell me how different or similar this tile set really is. If it says void or derelict or something new, then we have our answer. That punked me out. I thought that was a cephalon fragment for a second. Really do like that new Mission Complete logo, though. It's nice. Plasmor to 5. One downside to playing like this is that you don't get the added affinity boost of having other people on your squad. Oh, looks like there's a search function here in this menu. Wonder if you can search up things that you got. Territorial aggression. That's a new mod. Interesting. Upgradable? Not till 11, maybe? Seems right. Oh, can't have my fashion not match. Okay, so yes, the derelict does not, or no longer appears on the map anywhere. Good to know. Deimos seems to have replaced it. Aha! Okay, so this is the Cambion Drift. This is our new open world land. It's free roam. It is Foss in 29 minutes. Don't know what that means. Foss could be day or night or something completely tangential to day and night. Level 15 to 30. Shouldn't be too bad. Our Neza should be able to handle it. Heart of Deimos quest required. Let's head there. think we might be treated to a cutscene here. If the other two open worlds were any sign. Let's cross our fingers and keep your eyes peeled for lore tidbits. Anything that could be relevant. Very cool. Deploys us in the archwing. Oh man, my Nova's gonna look great on this tile set.
Tenno.
This must be Lloyd.
You received our distress signal. Mother will be pleased.
What? Visitors? Look at you now, a real chip off the old monolith, huh? Just the right sort to save us from the coming cataclysm.
Dual
Come
personality thing going on here.
We agreed. I was handling orientation protocol.
on. Sorry, Lloyd. It's just too exciting.
We are in crisis, Tenno.
Got a
Our
Jester's
defense
captain
against
going
the
on
Great
here.
Strain has failed. The Necrolisk is in
Two
lockdown.
faces of the theater.
But it doesn't matter. The infestation has compromised the very heart itself. We have been forced to rephase into Martian.
But how are you, anyway? Things good?
As I was saying, our defense situation is dire. Our remaining necromechs have reverted to their autonomous kill precepts. They will not distinguish you from those things.
New enemy type, interesting.
I call that one Bitey Scratchikins.
It is imperative you meet Mother, receive her instructions,
I'm getting
and
some dark
prevent
vibes
the
from this
imminent
guy. Thinking that there is
interdimensional
some tragic
catastrophe.
backstory to how these
Demonstrate your
personalities
combat
got together.
readiness, and I will grant you the requisite security clearance.
Okay.
Good luck.
I'll show you my combat readiness.
Interdimensional what?
OTAC, I've already explained it.
OTAC. Interesting. Lloyd and OTAC. Okay, so those are two names for us to make note of. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Little rule I learned from Matthew Matosis, great video games YouTuber and reviewer. I think he also writes, or aspires to write for video games. But great thing I learned from him is whenever developers put you down in an area and have you facing in a certain direction, first thing you should do, turn around, walk the other way. Wonder how much of this is explorable. Okay, it's damageable. It's probably explorable. Quite lovely. Okay, lots of ganglion masses seem to be growing out of or into clouds. This must be the Cambrian Drift. To be honest, I'm getting vibes right now of Mother, the mother that Nata refers to when she says, "Mother, I'm coming home," the sentient mother. They sort of show chambers wherein Ballas was kept during the Chimera prologue, and they seem very large and natural, like gaping sort of chambers. And it reminds me quite a lot of this view, only this view is not so symmetrical and natural looking. This chamber looks infested, which clearly it is. But it belies a certain natural growth of infestation rather than an intentional cultivation. I'm not sure what we're in right now, if it is the void or if it is just a normal orbit. Gonna see what it looks like to play my guitar here on this branch. Oh, quite nice. Let's head over to the old Hirajoshi. That's kind of the vibe of this place, right? Alright, let's see how far we can go. Warframe draw distances and despawn points are not always clear. So I do this without activating any energy because I know it is at my own peril. But that looks flowable to me. Interesting. Also getting sort of an Ash Lake, Great Hollow. Ooh, oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, yeah, they definitely intended for this to be here. So one of the interesting meanings of the word Saku, I spoke earlier about how the Warframe we're going to be farming here is named Saku, or Chaku. We don't really know how the X is supposed to be pronounced etymologically, because there really is no X symbol in Sanskrit. But there is a C-A-K-U. There's a word called Gachaku, or C-A, or K-A-C-A-K-U. Could be related, but it interestingly means... Let's see, I'm going to pull it up here. I have it bookmarked. Gachaku. Submit. And chaku is a suffix for gachaku. Alright, so gachaku, K-A-C-A-K-U, which cha could be the intended consonant for the X in Saku, the Warframe's name. In Sanskrit means ill-disposed, wicked, vile, or intolerable, unbearable, or difficult to be obtained. Ill-disposed, wicked, vile, intolerable, unbearable. And we know that Saku is an amalgam of 3 different Warframes, are all contained. Now there's another reading of Gachaku, which is, if you put an H at the end of it, so Gachuka, which is simply read as a snake. Anyhow, looking at this gorgeous texture, I was reminded a bit of a snake's skin, a snake's underbelly, and it made me think of that etymological research that I had done. Now, I'm not saying at all that Saku is directly related to or is Gachaku, simply that Saku is kind of a hard one to research, and C-A-K-U is sort of the closest I came, and the C-H-A-K-U is the closest I came to mimicking that X sound. Alright, so these things blow up. They don't seem to give me any resource, which is interesting. But little veins slither out of them when I do it. So I wonder if there's a point... Ah, you see? I wonder if there's some amount of damage that this landscape can take before bad things starts happening to me. Let's try to just strip as much of the stuff as we can and try to look for the tendrils. Yep, tendrils rushing out there. Tendrils rushing out there. Tells me I can probably get up there. Let's get a close-up view of these tendrils, eh? Interesting. It doesn't seem to be a liquid draining. It seems to be actual tendrils of something receding. This is interesting. Different tissues or different lights? No, yeah, this is different tissue. Interesting. This seems to be more of a muscular tissue than this. Ugh, and this looks eerily like an elbow. Or a joint of some sort. Trying to get a feel for the shape of this entrance point. Further? Or is there a ceiling? Okay, there's an invisible ceiling there, I believe. Okay, back to our original plan. Blowing up as many of these tendril sacks as we can and seeing if the environment ever fights back. Or if they start dropping a resource, because right now they don't seem to be dropping any resource. I hope that these aren't valuable resources later that I'm just totally wasting right now. Like, that could be it. Interesting. This is new. Reminds me of quartz or granite, or it could be textures of some sort of egg deposit. No. It could just be a film of some sort. Does not seem to be breakable, just ambient lighting. Same with this. Getting some interesting sounds. We're going to do the classic blow all of these things up and then be really sad when nothing happens. Or that we learn about it, like, immediately in the next section. I should have just moved on. Classic move. The smaller ones have already been blasted. Am I missing any? I don't think so. Maybe on the underbelly here? Oh, that's one. I think that might have burst it. Yep, sure did. Thank you, Firewalker. This looks to be like actual heart tissue. Just a freaky thing. Okay, so we're just gonna keep these in our minds. See if they're ever relevant. I'm just gonna keep blowing them up, seeing if things happen. Oh, yes. Oh, it's Vohm soon. Uh-oh. That's must be Foss right now. So it must have been Vohm when we came in. So now it's Foss. Things could change. Looks like a face hugger that's grown. So that's pretty spooky. I'm gonna try something. No way. What the hell is this thing? Oh, that's shell casing. Wow, there are gems. Alright guys, cancel the lore stream. This is now a prospecting stream. We're prospectors. We're looking for gold in the heart of Deimos. Doggone. Ah, Hesifron. Delicious. Ah, yellow is the other color. Will blast me. Batholite. No beeping over here. If they can be under these things. kidding me? I just want to mine some blood gems. I'm not gonna lie. Not worth it. Not gonna let this become a prospecting stream. Not yet. Until it tells me to go out and prospect 10 blood vessels. I wonder if the Foss Bone cycle, I guess instead of the day-night cycle, or there might be a third, I don't even know if it's a cycle. I wonder if that has anything to do with these pustules and their blood blisters, and whether or not there's a consequence to me blowing so many of them up.
If we were unclear, demonstrate your readiness by destroying infestation. Only then will I grant entry clearance. Act accordingly.
Is this the aforementioned heart? She's asleep. Mother. Cannot seem to hurt her, which is good, probably. Alright, who wants to archwing when you can K-drive, right? Am I right? Who's with me? Who's with me, Glinty? Nice. No, took that turn too harsh. Just gonna get my board and board away from the low rumbles. What's this? Seems to be glowing. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, K-Drive is not ideal. Rolls are infected. You know, on second thought, instead of carrier, I should probably bring Helios with me. Give me affinity and energy. Reach the hive. Okay, well I have to reach the hive first. I'll explore that cave later. Okay. This is interesting. This is interesting. I'm gonna have to get a picture of some of the, oh, what was it called? Duviri Paradox promo material, which is supposed to be like the Void Open World. Which I'm not sure when it's going to release, but there are a lot of silhouettes in this area that are very reminiscent of promotional material for the Duviri Paradox. Specifically, there's one image used over and over with the Zarumon Tin Zero in the background, the Tinno, and this could just be coincidence, but this right here looks very similar. This shape specifically right here, if you look up a picture of the Zarumon Tin Zero, it is sort of a crescent moon-shaped ship stranded in the void, and it's sort of the origin story of the Tinno. Curious if there's any connection between Deimos and where the Zarumon is stranded in the void. Okay, something to keep in mind. Now this is decidedly not infested. Just a pillar. In fact, and I think that that is the hive that we are supposed to go to. Albrecht's Prospect. See, this is a prospecting stream. Let's look at some of these names here. The undulatum. This is interesting. These are all very, very obviously biological terms. Abscess, straight up a biological term. Undulatum is a sort of term for lots of different creatures, I believe. Undulus. Undulus is actually or undulatus is a cloud formation. Interesting. Undulatus. Spelled the same way. So, like, basically, if you took this word, undulatum, it's on my map, just made that M into an S, you have undulatus. And undulatus asperatus is a cloud formation. Undulatus might actually just be Latin for cloud. Let's see here. The undulatus is that's Latin for undulate. So the undulatum could simply be referring to a place from where things undulate. The Cerebrum Magma, which we're pretty close to, I believe. It's behind the hive. Magna meaning what's the Magna Carta? What does that mean? It's like a document, right? Rights. Cerebrum Magna. It's behind the hive, and the hive is there. So this is the Cerebrum Magma, right here. That's interesting. Now I'm starting to get other ideas. Because the other thing that this looks like, if we think of it as a head, is it does look vaguely like a lizard, snake, reptile, alligator, chroma kind of head here. This place is gorgeous. This is the Cerebrum Magma. So cerebrum, obviously meaning head. Magna, I think that's Italian for rights. Now, Chroma is a unique blend of infestation and sentient, and he's sort of the alpha and the omega. He's Chroma. He's the beginning and the end. He is the void plus non-void. Chroma is very, very important in terms of Warframe lore, so... And this could just be biased, could just be me reading too much into it. But when you view Cerebrum, and you look at it from here, which would be probably the back of the head here, right? This is like the crest of the Cerebrum here. Good look at its carapace. Also reminds me a little bit of that sand lion in Aladdin. This is very interesting. It almost looks like that is the thing that we saw, and it was like Vohm in 48 minutes. Little tentacles that are sprouting out of the front of it. Or that could be a head, and that could be its body. Interesting. Alright, so we've seen Cerebrum Magma. Albrecht's Prospect. I believe this is where we came in. Yes. And this is the NPC represented in blue, I believe. Maybe not. Be further underground. Or that could be my K drive. That's probably just my K drive, hilariously. Alright, Albrecht's Prospect. So, I'm wondering who Albrecht is. Don't have any idea who that might be. But a prospect is an interesting term. Prospect meaning either, you know, something with potential to grow into something, or something that is mineable, something that value can be got from. Oh, some ganglion. Don't mind if I do. So maybe I just don't get ganglion when I burst them in that frontal area, but I do when I burst them out here. All right, let's look at Deimos Terminus. End of Deimos. This is how this would literally translate. We could read that as like a posterior, like a tail, or we could read it as like a chronological, like a, oh, that it ended at this point. Oh, well, this is very fascinating. I mean, is it just me, or does this seem like a road? Maybe not a road, maybe a piece of architecture for something else. This looks, yeah, more Orokin like ornament than road, I would guess. Very interesting. Ganglion? Ah, postulate. Certainly. I'm telling you, go look at Chroma Prime and go look at Chroma Prime's tail. And tell me that you don't get Chroma Prime tail. That prime tail, baby. That's not what I meant. Haptic frond. Ah, yes, the haptic frond. Let's get a good look at that. No, thank you. I'll take some ganglion. Okay, so that's Deimos Terminus. Now let's go look at the catabolic gutter. That sounds lovely, doesn't it? Let's see what catabolic means. So many good etymological explorations here. Catabolic gutter. Catabolic activity. Let's see, what is catabolic activity? Catabolism involves all of the metabolic processes that break down biomolecules. These are activities like digestion and cellular respiration. The reverse of catabolism is anabolism, which involves all of the metabolic processes that build biomolecules. So basically, you can build the metabolic processes that build biomolecules are called anabolism, and breaking down biomolecules, so basically repurposing them, the nitrogen cycle, that's catabolism. So the catabolic gutter is likely just a place where biomatter is broken down. Oh, and it's one of these. Oh, we gotta pull a Luke Skywalker here, don't we? This is gorgeous. We're going to come back to that in a second. Hive seems to be in the middle of the catabolic gutter, so we'll come back to that. Now let's go take a look at the undulatum. The place, a chamber of undulation is how I'm going to read undulatum for now, or cavity of undulation perhaps. Cerebrum cavity of the brain. Think. Undulatum. This is where things undulate from. Let's see how far around it we can get. Interestingly, it seems the closest thing in-game that this structure reminds me of, and this is total shot in the dark, probably not related at all, but the specific things to look for when I show you here are these 3 eyes, or circles, and the spikes, which seem to hoist these masts on them. So keep those in mind. Ooh, that's fun. Okay, I cannot actually. Take a look, but it looks like a void relic to me. Only a very, very large one. Oh. Oh my. Is that moving? Is it the only thing that's moving? Oh no, that's moving too. There's Mars, I suppose. That's drifting. That seems to be very distinct, though. I wonder if that's the abscess. It might just be the abscess. That looks very abscessant. If I had to guess, I'd say that's a main gate. What's that? Oh wait, no, that's not the undulatum, that's the necrolisc. Oh, what a mistake. Yeah, that's the necrolisc, not the undulatum. This is not the place where things resonate from, or change from. It is a necrolisc. Lots of sci-fi etymology involved in necrolisc. I'll look into that here in a second. So the undulatum is this. Yes, this is the undulatum. My mistake. Forgive me. So this, necrolisc. This, undulatum. Now this looks very similar to Deimos Terminus, and also the Cerebrum Magma. It's like a very similar build. So this must be the undulatum specifically, yes. It almost looks like a sort of an arboretum, or a oh, what's the term? Big an amphitheater almost. So if this is if we read undulatum as chamber or place of shifting, it's interesting to me that we see the most natural light, or not natural, but a white light, very different from all the other light sources that we see. I guess these white lights indicate openings, because they seem to be present at a lot of the other doorways and cave openings that are present around. And we have this nice architecture here as well. Fascinating. And stairs on the other side. I wonder if eventually, putting out my guess right now, I wonder if eventually, when we do get the Deviri paradox, if travel between the void realm, the void open world, the Deviri paradox, and this place, the heart of Deimos, might be facilitated through sorts of gates or portals, kind of like you see in No Man's Sky. I think they have them actually now. They didn't at first. Alright, so that's the undulatum. Right now we're just getting a sort of a feel for what all these things are and what they're called. It's something I like to do with the new open world. Interesting piece of architecture here as well. Ah, yes, the River of Poop. Beautiful this time of year. Oh, well, okay. I know that this almost became a prospecting stream, but this is about to definitely become a fishing stream. We're going to see what sort of macro parasites we can find. Oh, do you hear it? Do you hear it? The telltale glub glub of close by aquatic life. Maybe I should bring my oxalis with me instead. Come now, come now. I hear it. Oh, what's that? I wonder if I can capture that. Am I on it? Can I spook it? Come on, fish. I heard you. I heard you. But I don't see you. Oh, are they outside of the water? These fuckers. That's hilarious. If that's the case, I'm gonna lose my shit. This could be a bug. Or it could be that they actually float above the water. Wow. That is fucking hilarious. The infestation has suborned these fish to its own purposes, using them as antibodies to repel the non-infested. They swim through and above the exocrine found on Deimos' surface. And above. Okay, not a bug. Feature. This is a feature. Oh, we're putting these in our aquarium. Oh, we are putting these in our aquarium. These look gorgeous, I think. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're definitely putting some Cryptosuccuses in our aquarium. Formerly Orocan scavengers, these fish succumb to the infestation. Long ago, and now greedily feast on floating spores. They're found all over the surface of Deimos. Interesting. Alright, now is that one of the ones we already had? Can I stand on it? Yes, I can. Did it swim away? I'd like to fish here. So when do they start populating? Look away, look away, look away. Come on, fish. Aha. Hey, get back here. There's a weirdo. Okay, so we already caught one of those. Now we for real know what they look like. I believe we've already caught one of those. This one looks a little different, though. No, it's the same thing. Just different whether or not submerged. Okay. This one looks so pretty. Okay, if we see other pools of water, we'll check for other species of fish. And in fact, in the meantime, I am going to make a snack and use the restroom, and then we'll continue here in about 15 minutes, y'all. Until then, we're just going to meditate here. above the Exocrine pond. Alright, y'all. Back in 15. Alrighty, I am back. Okay, so the roommate needs to do some R&R after a long day. So we are going to bring this to a brief stopping point at about 7:45 Central Standard Time. And then later on in the evening, probably around, I would guess, 9 or 10 Central Standard Time, we'll be back exploring more Heart of Deimos, and this will give me some time to research sort of the biological, or the etymology of a lot of the biological terms we see present here in the map overlay. As we've discussed, most of the nodes within the Heart of Deimos seem to be very much based in Latin. Oh, hey, look, it's a Graviplastima. See you later. And most of the terms here on the map seem to be very much biologically influenced. We see undulatum, theoretically undulate, meaning to change, or specifically when a muscle undulates, it's like a bunch of mass moving. Like undulations, or tremors is another word for an undulation, right? You can see tremor of tissue. In medical terms, it's a bad thing usually. Can sometimes indicate cancerousness. We have the catabolic gutter. We've learned that catabolism is the process, the metabolic process involved in breaking down biomatter. And the hive, where we're destined to, seems to be smack between the catabolic gutter and the undulatum. Albrecht's prospect, we don't really know much about that. Albrecht, I'm going to have to research the notoriety of Albrecht. We have Deimos terminus, meaning end or tail. Could mean tail. We have the Cerebrum Magma, head, right, rights of head, or it could be like headstone, something like that. I believe Magna means right. From Magna Carta. Carta means charter, Magna means right, I believe. And we have the Seraglio. I believe that's also a biological term. That's where we are right now, more or less. I believe this is the infested Seraglio. Maybe a term for a reservoir. And we have an abscess, obviously. An abscess is a bad thing that grows biologically. A necrolisc, which we're going to have to investigate a little bit. And the Actuary's Pride. And so we're going to have to research that a little bit too. But there's some obvious biological terminology present here. And that'll give me some time to research that before returning and diving deeper into Deimos lore speculation. Because I think there are a lot of really interesting lore threads that we can explore. But first, we're going to want to take a look at the old abscess. So previously, I thought that the abscess was that thing. Because if you notice, that thing is moving. It seems animated better than a lot of these other things around it. Could just be some really nice skybox work, though. Thought that maybe I could travel to that, and now it's looking like I can't really, but we're going to zoom over there and see if I can. So this must be the abscess. We've seen a number of other structures that look a lot like the abscess. So the Deimos terminus looks a lot like the abscess. The Cerebrum Magna looks a lot like the abscess. The Undulatum looks a lot like the abscess. And it's chiefly the similar things are this very, very chitinous or bony or muscular. In fact, let's take a good look at the textures here. So, seems like definitely has like a dermal sort of look to it, like a skin. Reminds me of snake skin a little bit, like scales. These could just be like platelets. It could be like some sort of lava tube. It could be a number of different things, but it's definitely hardened. And to me, it looks a lot more muscular and solid. Squishy still, we can hear from the sound. But definitely more solid than some of the more veiny fibers that we see run through, that we can actually see blood run through. So this abscess seems to be some sort of growth. I'm not sure if an abscess is a good thing in this sort of biome or a bad thing. It seems like this biome is sort of the idea of abscess taken to its, you know, most nightmarish conclusion. So an abscess might be a good thing for the biology present here. Let's take a look at... So one thing that we've noticed is that in each of these named areas, and scattered throughout the Hearts of Deimos open world area, there seem to be big old chunks of Orokin architecture. Now this could just be what's left of the derelict, that this is sort of so overgrown that, like, this is really all that's left, are these scattered pieces. Could be that these are staging platforms for some later quest. Could be that these, I have a theory, they could have to do with the Duviri paradox. And these could be like ways to teleport between Void World and Infested World, but that's just rampant speculation on my part. It really has absolutely no justification. We also notice that the fish here over the exocrine, which I imagine is just a reversal of endocrine, which is an endocrine system manages hormone distribution. Exocrine. I'm not sure what exocrine might mean, but that's another one that I'll research before reconvening this evening. Probably going to bring Helios with me next time. Either Helios or Oxalis. Get some scans in while I can. We've seen these already. Okay, so we've seen the abscess, we've seen the necklace, the undulatum, the cereglio, the cerebrum magna, Albrecht's prospect, catabolic gutter, and Deimos terminus. So now we are going to take a look at Actuary's Pride. Interesting. So again, we see the sort of structure that is very much similar to the abscess, the undulatum, the cerebrum magna, and the terminus. This black, sort of muscular or bony growth. Aha. Now this is a very interesting part of the Actuary's Pride. How far up can we get? Is this the ceiling? Here we go. Interesting. Difficult to tell if this is early Orokin or if this is Corpus. This could be, or I guess, late Orokin or early Corpus, right? If it were a weapon, I would say that this is Corpus, but it's far too big to be a weapon, of course. Because this looks a lot like the Exorgis's design, strangely. Now, it could be a enlarged weapon, but we'd be in a really weird time space if this was an enlarged weapon. So I'm gonna have to guess that this is the hull of some sort of ship, or the part of some sort of Orokin tower structure. Probably late Orokin or early Corpus. I'm gonna guess late Orokin since this is an overlay of the derelict. Now this one's interesting. I think I want to zoom inside. I've been doing just a cursory glance at all the other monuments, but this one we're gonna jump inside because it might give us a better idea of what it actually is. It does look to be some sort of ship or container. This all was breached by the Actuary's Pride. We have some light still left in it. Lots of good stuff here. Lots of good stuff here. They keep their stuff in the Actuary's Pride, I would suppose. That was the most profitable cyst I've ever popped. Oh, this is fascinating. Could this be the Actuary's Pride? No, I think that is more likely the Actuary's Pride. But this is a very unique structure. Very unique indeed. It's the first I've seen of this sort of structure. And some sort of infested tree. Let's do a quick cursory scan to see if we can find any other fauna or flora. I'm not sure which it is, probably both. That looks like this. These little haptic fronds have 3 little ganglion and tentacles on top. It could be that those are like juvenile versions of these. Not quite sure. Let's get our codex scans in. But yeah, let's do a quick little run to see if we can find any more material like that tree. Oh yes, okay. Does seem to be a sprite. More. More Orokin structure. And again, this really gives the impression of some sort of rail. But I'm not up enough on my Orokin architecture to know whether or not they have rails that look like this. This could just be the adornment of the outside of a building or something like that. This is a new one. Petrific outcrop. This looks like a metal. Lucent Terraglobe. Don't mind if I do. It sounds delicious. Another one. Don't want to miss any. Take as much of this resource. That's the upside of lore exploring, is that you also get to gather resource. Okay, so not a uniqueness. Definitely not the Actuary's Pride. It's definitely not just one of these trees. The Actuary's Pride is certainly that thing. That thing, whatever it is. And we see a rare outcrop of non-infested thing. And a cave opening. This might be the cleanest rock that exists in all this area. Oh, those things are full of all sorts of goodies. In fact, let's follow this sort of non-infested area a little bit and see again these archways are all distinct. I think they're all designed differently. They have different platforms that they stand on. And they all seem to be backlit with this sort of light. Like, we don't see this sort of light growing except for openings. So it really gives me a Portal sort of vibe. I think that sometime later, whether in this quest or beyond, you know, perhaps even exploring potential connections to Javiri Paradox stuff, I really get the feel that these are going to be portals at some point. I don't know. Could just be my video game bias. I haven't played enough video games with that in it. Little hut. These are very interesting. Cannot scan them. Can I shoot them? I can shoot them, but nothing happens. And this one, this light doesn't seem to shine on any sort of architecture in general. Just sort of lights this pathway here. And here we are back at the Cerebrum Magma. So some things I'm going to explore in the downtime, along with all the etymology that we talked about, is take a look at some images of the Debris Paradox promotional material and see if there are any similarities to the positioning of the Zarmontan Zero and this structure here, the Cerebrum Magma. I'm also going to look at some chroma skins, some chroma lore, because I don't know, I'm just getting very chroma vibes from this thing, especially since it's called a Cerebrum. And I know that chroma has some very tantalizing connections to both sentience and infested. Sort of the alpha, the omega, the Ouroboros, the dragon who eats his tail, a hybrid, which is what the void fears. So I just have a hunch that there's some chroma stuff lurking here. This could just be like a fossilized head of a being that might wake later or something like that, because when it flashed that in 48 minutes it would be Vohm, I think. Which I guess Vohm and Foss are day and night cycle here in the heart of Deimos. But it flashed some creature that looked like it was kind of a face hugger. And I mean that looks like, jeez, this looks like it might even be like a taste buds or something, you know? Weird, very strange. And the positioning of these things here, the fact that they're connected, I'm not sure if this is a mouth or what, or if this is the head and that's the body, or if this whole thing is a head and that is a mouth. So this is a very interesting one to explore. Also, I'm going to have to research the etymology of necrolisc, because there's just so many different sci-fi things that could be referencing. And I'm going to have to see what a necrolisc is, and I'm very interested if there's any connection between void relics and this necrolisc, because they seem to have a very similar design, both in terms of the three circles here. And it could even be that they're designed similarly to like the Kuva relics, the Lich relics. Oh, the Lich relics. Foss. That's where I've heard that term before. Foss. I believe that's a Kuva Lich relic. Interesting. Okay, so we've got some stuff to explore. We have got some stuff to explore. Alright. I think with the last few minutes, we're going to complete this Hive mission, see what that's all about, and see if we can get access into the Andrade Syndicate. Oh, I'm all out of Archoplasmor bullets. Hilarious. Sad. Well, ammunition does not really seem to be plentiful out here. So that might be a sign of things to come. My carrier's doing jack shit for me. Ganglion might even be like an ammo source later on. Bug? Oh no, that's just exocrine. Oh hey, different fish. Gotta grab me one of these. Oh, don't tell me I'm gonna have to buy some weird fishing pole for you guys. That's probably exactly what it is, isn't it? It looks so pretty, though. Yep. Okay. Can I walk on this? I can. So exocrine looks like non-Newtonian. I will catch you. That's how you fish. That's how Jesus fished. You just run over the water, levitate the fish out of it, and skewer him with the spear. That's how Jesus did it.
Hive located. Destroy it with weapon fire.
Don't mind if I do.
That got their attention. Hostiles incoming.
Okay, so the tendrils that we see receding from these pustules seem to be coming out to protect this hive. Oh, hey, there is ammunition in the heart of Deimos. Wonderful.
All hostiles down. Move on and destroy the next hive.
Out here still? Where?
Oh, look! There's a hive! Nuke it! Okay, now that they're good and mad, hope you're ready.
I was afraid for a second there that my carrier... Ah, yes! Need to scam one of these puppies. By puppies, I of course mean terrifying nightmare beast. Look at this thing. Oh, okay. You're a playful little thing, aren't you? No, that's not what I wanted to do. Can I siphon trap y'all? Suppose I should use my Nez's ability, right? That's right. Level 5 axe stiletto. Suck it. Not even a prime. Figured Firewalker would be a pretty good ability in the open world that's made of flesh.
Clearance approved, Tenno. I
yeah,
now
dude.
grant
Surfer
access
DE.
to the Necrolisk. Mother awaits.
Hell yeah, bro.
But I should
died.
warn you, she is not entirely herself.
So Mother lives in the Necrolisk. But she's not entirely herself. I see. Alright, well that about does it for this chunk of Lore Explore. Basically going to do a little bit of background research for some of the etymology and some of the layout and some of the imagery that we're seeing here. And then I'll return in probably an hour and a half or 2 hours or so with more information, some questions answered, some probably new questions that pop up, and we'll go even further into the heart of Deimos. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this. We'll be uploading this stuff to YouTube as part of a lore series that I'm beginning here with the Heart of Deimos update. Sort of going into how you can start to explore lore oneself, and in doing so learn a lot just about, you know, etymology and stuff in general, which is kind of the big benefit of exploring lore, in my opinion. Before I go, I'll do a little bit of Shazin improvising. Okay, so I think we definitely... I think Hirajoshi... I think Kirajoshi's definitely the scale for the Heart of Deimos. That's enough of that, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later tonight.